Hello boys, welcome back to another session of video tutorials, and this session is meant for class 12th biology students, and this is meant for 13th January 2021. As we are into the revision mode, we are revising each chapter for the second time. First time we gave the notes for the entire syllabus, each and every chapter revision notes I have given. Second, I have trained you in assertion and reasoning, and this is the third type wherein I am giving you 1 mark questions, 2 mark questions, 3 mark questions and 5 mark questions of each chapter. So the purpose is that you should get familiarized with all so that you are thorough with each chapter, so that you are in board exam you will score maximum marks, plus it will be all helpful to you in your NEET and UPSC exam. So with that in our mind, here we go. Question number 1. F2 generation is obtained by F2 filial 2, okay, second generation, obtained by crossing of F1 and F2, B crossing of F3 and F4, C selfing of F2, and of course we know it is selfing of F1. So answer has to be D. Question 2. Genes are A segment of chromosome, B segments of mitochondria, C segment of nucleus, and of course segment of DNA. It has to be segment of DNA because genes are present inside the DNA. A portion of DNA is gene. Then third, map distance of genes on chromosome is calculated by non-crossover percentage, recombination frequency of each gene loci or locus, so it has to be locus, crossover, yes exactly, crossover percentage, and of course number of mutant genes. Question 4. Dihybrid cross proves the law of purity of gametes, law of independent assortment, yes exactly, because dihybrid ratio 9:3:3:1 it indicates law of independent assortment, and of course C segregation, D dominance. Question 5th. Each gametes carry only recessive allele, B glucose, only one of the alleles. Each gametes carry definitely one of the, because meiosis takes place, one of the alleles, and only dominant allele. Answer has to be C. The question number 6. Phenotypic and genotypic. Phenotypic, physical appearance of an individual due to its genotype. Genotypic, it is the genetic makeup of an individual because of which phenotype takes place, isn't it? So the phenotypic and genotypic ratios in F2 generation are same in certain kind of inheritance. Name the organism in which it occurs and mention the kind of inheritance involved. Okay. Next, question 7. A diploid organism is heterozygous for 4 loci. How many types of gametes can be produced? Question number 8. A garden pea plant produced round green seeds. Round green seeds. That is, round for R, you have to take RR, green seeds, GG. Another of the same species produced wrinkled yellow seeds. Identify the dominant traits. So you have to go for dihybrid cross. Then question number 9. Kavita's parents suffer from high blood pressure and are obese. Of course it is obese. Kavita is also worried about her health. Do you think Kavita can inherit these characteristics from the parents? Suggest 2 measures Kavita can adapt to avoid high blood pressure and obesity. It is very, very common in all the families nowadays. If parents have got some diseases, particularly genetic diseases, or due to lifestyle, we call it lifestyle diseases, the children are worried whether they may get it or not. Okay, let's answer that. Question number 10. How is sex determined in human beings? So it is a sex determination, XX, XY. This is also very apt for the present day. And question number 11, briefly mention the contribution of T.H. Morgan in genetics. Of course, who will not who will not recognize his contribution in genetics? Remember that fruit fly, Drosophila melanogaster, that is Morgans. How is a child affected if it has grown from the zygote formed by an XX egg fertilized by Y carrying sperm? What do you call this abnormality? This is chromosomal syndromes. Next, the very characteristic of this chapter, that is pedigree analysis. Study the given pedigree chart and answer the questions that follow. This is a very likely question in the 4 marks question section A. Okay, so that is what we call case study. So case study type of questions, this question for your batch in all likelihood may come. So be prepared for this. So 1. Is the trait recessive or dominant? 2. Is the trait sex-linked or autosomal? And third, give the genotypes of the parents shown in generation 1 and their second child as shown in generation 2 and the first grandchild shown in generation 3. Question number 4. Hemophilia is a sex-linked recessive disorder of human beings or in human beings. The pedigree chart given below shows the inheritance of hemophilia in one family. Study the pattern of inheritance and answer the questions given. 1. Give all the possible genotype of the numbers 4, 5, 6 in the pedigree chart. So for this one we have to give, for this one we have to give, for this one 4, 5, 6 only genotype we have to give. A blood test shows that individual 14, this fellow, individual 14 is a carrier of hemophilia. The member numbered 15, this one, has recently married the member numbered 14. What is the probability of their first child? Will he be or she be hemophilic or is it male? Hemophilic male. So the combination of these two, that is what. Next, question number 15. A homozygous tall pea plant with green seeds is crossed with a dwarf pea plant with yellow seeds. Of course, clear, monohybrid cross. Okay, tall and no, two characters are there. Tall plant and green seeds, dwarf plant with the yellow seeds. So you are taking tall capital T and capital G for this. And correspondingly for dwarf you are picking up small t, and even though it is yellow, we as per the Mendel's rules we need to take the small corresponding letters. There capital G, here we are taking small g. What would be the phenotype and genotype of F1 generation? Cross this and this, you will get the F1 generation. Okay, work out the phenotypic ratio of F2 generation with the help of Punnett square. Okay, and so for this, what you need to answer. Take a paper and start answering. After answering it, now let us come to the questions. What is that? For each question, let's answer. Number 1. Question 1, of course, we said selfing of F1 in monohybrid and dihybrid cross. F2 generation is obtained by selfing of F1 hybrids as male and female. Question 2, D. Segment of DNA. Genes are segment of DNA present on chromosome. Large number of genes are located on single chromosome. A gene or genes determine the traits of the individual. Question 3. Crossover percentage. Map distance is tools to find out the distance between two genes on a chromosome. The genes closer to each other shows less number of crossing over percentage. Question 4b, law of independent assortment. In dihybrid cross, two new kinds of plants with new traits are formed. New kinds. This is possible only when all traits assert independently. That's why law of independent assortment. And recombine, it's not combine, recombine to form new combinations. Hence, answer should be B. Question number 5, C. Only one of the alleles. Each gametes carry a single set of chromosomes. During gamete formation, each pair of alleles separate from each other as reduction division occurs. Question number 6. It occurs in snapdragon, that 4 o'clock plant, and antirradium species. It's called dog flower. The inheritance involved is incomplete dominance. Then question number 7. 2 to the power 4, that is 16 gametes can be produced with varieties of types. And of course, as I said, round and yellow. Question number 8. Question number 9. No, these are lifestyle related. As I said, see, hypertension, blood pressure, BP is not genetic. It is lifestyle related. Our lifestyle, how we make. The moment a person takes everything under stress, everything he takes into tension, naturally BP shoots up. So it is not genetic, right? And 2, any 2 measures. Changing in food habits, yes. Reduce the salt if you are a BP patient. Then exercise, particularly preferably morning walk, and leading active life. Don't be lazy. You need to keep up yourself. And of course, meditation is the ultimate, best one. Values, awareness about health and understanding. Then question 10. A baby's genetic sex is determined at the time of conception. When the baby is conceived, a chromosome from the sperm cell, either X or Y, fuses with the X chromosome in the egg cell, determining whether the baby will be genetically male or female. I think the best way to explain this is, you take the male like this, and the sperms, the male can produce 2 types of sperms. A sperm carrying X and a sperm carrying Y. Whereas in female, the mother has no choice. She has got eggs that can produce only X. She has no choice because the female will be having X sex in her body. So it has to be a gamete having only one type. So when this sperm X combines with this, it has to be XX. So it is female. The baby is going to be female. Whereas the sperm carrying Y fuses with the X of the female, then it becomes XY, the baby will be male. So who is deciding the sex of the baby? It is the sperm. Whether the sperm carrying X or sperm carrying Y fuses the X, because mother has no choice. She produces a gamete with only X chromosome. Hence, it is the sperm that decides. But again, it is only on the surface. But internally, we know that the person will not have a choice to say that he can only donate sperm having X or sperm having. It is only 50-50 choice. Okay, so this is how the sex of the baby will be decided. And question number 11, of course, thanks to the Thomas Hunt Morgan put forth chromosome theory of linkage from this work on fruit fly. As I said, Drosophila melanogaster. Sometimes he will ask you one more question. Scientific name of fruit fly. He established the principle of linkage, discovered sex linkage, and technique of chromosomal mapping. This is the greatest contribution. He wrote a book, Theory of Gene, and was awarded suitably Nobel Prize in 1933. Next, the union of abnormal XX egg and normal Y sperm results in trisomy of sex chromosome. So it is triplex Y. This type of sex chromosomal abnormality, where the individual has 47 chromosomes, 44 autosomes and XXY, allosomes 3. And the abnormality is called Klinefelter's syndrome. Next, 13. It's a dominant, autosomal, and parent's mother will be AA. Father, capital A, small a, that is dominant gene. Third child, capital A, small a. First grandchild, capital A, small a. So keep this figure with you and just check, recheck, verify these answers. And 14. The members' genotypes, of course, it is 4XHX and 4XXH means hemophilic, right? And 6XY. Again, you need to check this with the board. And in Punnett square, of course, it is the female has got XHX and the male has got XY. So when this gamete having X combines with the gamete having X hemophilic, it is XX. And she must be carrier, and this X combines with this normal girl, This Y unfortunately combines with this, it is XHY. This boy is very, very unfortunate, he becomes hemophilic. And another boy is lucky. So it is one boy out of the 4 will have to suffer. So the male XX, same thing here shown, and the sufferer is this. So the probability of first child bearing hemophilic male is 25%. Out of the 4, 1. Phenotypically, all the plants of F1 generation would be tall with green seeds. The genotype of all would be TTGG, hybrid tall plant with green seeds. This is dominant gene, so tall. This is dominant gene, so green. And for F2 generation, we need to have the checkerboard. How? This is how. TTGG, when the separation takes place in meiosis, splitting of the gametes, capital T, small t, capital G, small g, Punnett square. So G, T, 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 G, 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 G. So T, capital G, small t, capital G, capital T, small g, and small t, capital G. Now this dihybrid ratio, we are taking double of that. So capital T, capital G, small t, capital G, capital T, small g, small t, small g, and same thing comes here. So this is tall green, tall green, tall green, tall green. So tall green. So wherever you find capital T and capital G, it is tall green. Okay. So like that, you have to arrive at the phenotypes based on the genotypes. Write down all the phenotypes. How it is better you write here only. Say this is tall and green because capital T, capital T. Similarly, tall and green, tall and green, tall and green. Just below the genotype only you write. Then you can arrive at this like this. So tall plants with green seeds 9, dwarf plants with green seeds 3, tall plants with yellow seeds 3, dwarf plant with yellow seeds. So phenotypic ratio is typically 9:3:3:1. So work out on this. At least 2 to 3 examples you work out with different phenotypic characters. You'll become perfect. This